This is a review of the Devol Transformer Pull Rod, and what it is a lowering link essentially, and it's comparable to the factory connection and Pro Circuit linkage arms. And the difference between this one and the others is that this is actually adjustable. If you see here, it's got 5 positions with an offset. So you have the first position, which is 1 millimeters longer, the second, which is 1.7 millimeters longer, the third, which is 3 millimeters longer, the fourth is 4.7 millimeters longer, and the fifth is 5.7 millimeters longer. And these are for the 09 and 10 CRF450Rs. I believe it's different lengths for the 11 and 12 since they have different lengths stock. But 70-75 aluminum, nice and strong. It's about the same weight as stock actually, maybe just a little bit heavier. But what this essentially does though is it lowers the rear of your bike so that you don't have that stink bug stance that comes stock on the CRF. It's really hard and local here in Michigan. There's lots of sand, and the deep sand and the really whooped out tracks are really difficult to get through without a proper bike setup. So this gets rid of that stink bug feel and gives you a lot more adjustability. So if you want to go indoors or something, you can switch it to the first setting, and obviously you have to reset your sag and dial in your clickers for every position because it changes quite a bit. But good product for $179 on their website, so it's quite a bit cheaper than the Pro Circuit and factory connection ones. So there's an advantage there. All you really have to do for installation is remove your stock one, and here's this. You take this out of your stock and you just pop it in. You want to check for wear, any corrosion and whatnot on the stocker. Make sure you got to re-grease your bearings. But I'll put it on the bike and see how it looks. So I went ahead and installed the Devol Transformer Pull Rod, and I set it on the #1 position right now, which I'm going to be riding arena cross for the next few weeks, so that's the shortest length. But on outdoors, I'll be running the #3 position, and I'll see if I can get that to work the best. Devol does recommend the #3 position as the main position, which is 3 millimeters longer. So when you increase the length of the linkage arm, it puts more leverage on your shock, so it's going to make the entire stroke softer. So you're going to have to compensate with your clickers, and obviously going to the 5th position is really going to have an effect, and it could potentially bottom out into your fender quite a bit. So you're going to have to change your spring rates if you want to go that radically, but that's for guys like that want to do XC or enduro or something like that. But I did go ahead and put some anti-seize compound on this octagon aluminum piece right here, because I don't want it getting all seized up when I go to adjust it next, because I don't know if it's going to corrode or whatnot. So we'll see how it holds up, but right now it looks good. We'll see. This is a review of the FMF 4.1 titanium Megabomb system on an 09 CRF450R. Now here's the header. This header is made of stainless steel, so it's stronger and less vulnerable than the titanium. So you can see here I got maybe 40 hours on the bike, and there's no signs of rocks and whatnot putting any dents in here. There is one dent right here, but that was from another bike. Definitely heavier than the titanium, obviously. The rest of the system's all titanium, and it's very light. Compared to the stock, it's a featherweight. So looks great. Only problem is, after about 40 hours, it did lose its blue tint quite a bit. And I did replace the sticker with a replacement sticker on FMF website. Got the wrong one, but whatever. Pulled out the spark arrestor and the sleeve that fits in there just because I like the sound better, and it opens up the bottom a little more. Had it remapped that way as well. Performance-wise, it's a 2.68 horsepower gain over stock, and it's mostly focused from 8,000 and up, and you really see the gains on 9,600 RPM and up. So the stock 09, the issue with the stock is it didn't really want to pull up. It was a great, low to mid bike, but up top it just fell flat. So this really opens up the power band and gives you a lot more usable range to ride in. And in terms of power delivery, it tames the bark down just a little bit that it has off idle stock, but it definitely makes it much more torquey, and it's a very tractable system, but it's by no means a mellow system. It still barks like crazy. But I love the feel of it, love the sound of it. You can hear it here in a minute. They're a little bit wider, not by much. If you wanted to go wider, you can get the Bigfoot series pegs. A lot better traction. If you look here, there's 1, 2, 3, only about 3 or 4 teeth in the middle, not much grip in the middle, whereas this one's got a full set. Now the problem with the older Honda pegs is you get mud all jammed up in these cracks here, and it's really annoying on muddier race days and whatnot, and even just cleaning the bike afterwards. But this obviously doesn't have them anymore, so. Nice fit and finish, real strong, heavy, stainless steel, so they're not going to crack like the Tusk aluminum pegs or whatnot when you smash them. And just for comparison purposes, I'll put them next to the Tusk pegs here. Obviously the Tusk are a bit wider, but the problem with the studs is they tear your boots up a shit ton, so these are definitely more well-rounded pegs. You know, of course the aluminum's weaker too, so they're more prone to breaking, but they're still heavier. But all-around good pegs. Here's what it looks like on the bike. You've got a nice polished finish all the way around the peg. On the inside, it's all powder coated and whatnot, so hopefully it'll protect against rust and whatnot, and go and get it all inside here. But overall, real good peg, no interference when it comes up. I've had an issue with that on the Tusk peg. It would actually hit the frame prematurely, and it wouldn't go all the way up, so I ended up having to grind down the stopper on the Tusk peg. The only issue I had on this one in installation was the pin. When it goes through the very bottom, you have to drill out the hole in the bottom because it was a little tight. There must have been a burr or, you know, manufacturing defect or something, but it's really minimal, just barely drilled it out. Overall, great pegs. We'll see how they hold up. Stainless should hold up better on the teeth and the stalkers and whatnot, but we'll see. These are the ODI MX lock-on grips, and you can get them at RockyMountainATVMC.com for $18.99, I think. That's about $6 more than regular grips, and in my opinion, they're well worth it. Basically, on the throttle side, it comes with a throttle tube pre-installed with a grip. So you basically just slide it on, and you tighten it up on the inside here. On the new ones, I think they eliminated that. But they each have hard plastic end caps on each side that you screw in after you attach the grips. This side pretty much just slides on as well. And you can see right here that you just tighten up the screw and it tightens them right onto the handlebar. And I've never had a single issue with these things twisting or turning or anything. So no messy glues, no trying to rip your old grips off, you know, any of that stuff. So they slide on and off with these, and they come with extra end grips, you know, end pieces too. So that's an advantage. I've had to order so many of these things, I got a bunch of them laying around. So the only real disadvantage I could see is when you take a crash and you take this, you know, to your chest, it's going to do some damage versus a rubber, you know, a rubber grip, but probably not by much. Quality's great, nice and sticky. Got these in half waffle. I believe they come in full waffle and other kinds too, but never had any issues with blisters or tearing, or they hold up great too. Here's a set of grips that I have maybe 25 hours on, and they look pretty much new too. No wearing areas at all yet. Real good construction, real good rubber. Like I said, real tacky when new. So for $6 more, in my opinion, it's well worth the extra money. This is Filtron's billet oil filter cover and stainless steel reusable oil filter. And it's only $20 right now at ironpony.com. Pretty good deal. They also have the Leo Vince carbon fiber guard, but I'm pretty sure that's sold out. Now, the site claims that it fits 09 only, but I'm pretty sure it'll fit 09 to 12 unless they change something with the oil filter setup. But it's obviously out of the way of your boots, so you don't get any boot rubs, so it stays looking pretty for a while. But the only issue I had with this product is when you're putting it on, there's an O-ring that sits on the inside here when you're pushing it on. And it's actually too thick, so as you start to tighten the bolts down, it starts to shred that outer edge of the O-ring off because it's too thick. So it actually did seat up pretty good once I just pulled off the edge that was shredded off, and had no leaks so far. I've ridden it a couple times and no leaks, and I backed it out and put it back in, and sure enough, it's still got a good seal, so I guess no harm done. But good product, good price. Check it out.